Iowa versus Southern Nazarene. Welcome back to the CRC 7's. Excited to bring you our second match of the day. We have 4th-ranked Iowa versus 5th-ranked Southern Nazarene. Really excited for this match. I'm Wendy Young, joined by Darian Lovelace, Florida Rugby Union, and Atlanta Harlequin, and Premier 7's player. And we have Southern Nazarene in the white, kicking off to Iowa in the black gold. They're typical colors for these colleges. And the kick, the weather here is absolutely going to be a factor here. You're going to see that we're going to have a scrum very quickly to Southern Nazarene, but the weather here, it is absolutely pouring. It is cold down at the the Washington, D.C. in the Maryland Soccerplex. So the weather is absolutely going to be a factor today, but what are we expecting from these teams, Darian?
I think both teams are going to really have to dig deep. However, they're going to have to be very technical here. These are knockout rounds. If you don't win, then you're not moving on to try and get a shot at the championship. So pressure is definitely going to be coming on for both teams, as we see early on from Iowa.
Yeah, and nice scrum there. Southern Nazarene able to get through on the edge on this one, and this is a bruising run by the number 12, Talisa Uhaf Tafa. But again, just another knock on. We've been seeing slippery ball in the first game. We just saw Army defeat Aquinas 44-0 in a very good match for Army. And so it'll take these teams a moment to kind of get organized and maybe make some adjustments with this weather, the cold weather. And then it's a torrential downpour down there. It's hard to tell from the camera, but it is absolutely pouring.
It's definitely no easy feat to play 7th in the rain, seeing as how the ball really wants to try and move away from space. But both teams are just going to have to learn how to link up and work very well together to try and consolidate.
And match official going to just reset this one. Not quite liking what he saw in the scrum there. Stays with Iowa.
I know that referee from anywhere. That's Pete Chamberlain.
And Iowa, it's quick out of the back of the scrum, and it's a nice big run by Keisha Montaylor. And some quick offloads for Iowa, just taking advantage of a little bit of a disorganization from Southern Nazarene. And we can see now they're inside the 22, and this one going to go across the line with a beautiful score by Erica Kulibia Bali.
Kulibia Bali really solidifying a try here early on for Iowa. They needed that as we start to enter into the beginning of this first half. Using the footwork, though, especially whenever conditions are wet and just working it through the hands is important. Iowa really finding their groove here, and Southern Nazarene is really going to have to answer back quickly.
And the conversion is missed, so Iowa takes that 5-point lead. 3 minutes gone in this match. And again, 7's is the shorter version of rugby union. 7-minute halves. So as Darian mentioned, they've got to get going. They've got to score points, and they've got to stop their opponent. And that goes for everybody in 7's. It's a low driving restart. And just a little bit of a dribble there by Southern Nazarene. Not what they're wanting, but this weather continues to be, I think it's going to be the story all day.
And kickoffs, too, are no friend to the weather, especially in 7. So that's where we're really going to see the vulnerability. In that case, again, we're going to have to see a lot of adjustments coming from both teams. You're going to have to stray away from your game plan a little bit to take into consideration the rain. and kickoffs, it's just going to be really important to make sure that you're fielding them for possession.
And a good scrum by Iowa. They're able to get it out to the backs. Good tackle there by Southern Nazarene. And this one spilling out of the hands for Iowa. And now we'll have Southern Nazarene taking over, but better defense there by the team in white.
Very impressed with the defensive pressure coming in early. The ball is taking a little bit of time to work its way through the hands, so teams are doing a good job of recognizing that there's some time to exploit.
And there comes the adjustments in Southern Nazarene. You can see that fly half coming in closer, but still we'll have another knock on. We're going to play a little bit of advantage, though, and see if Iowa can make something of it. It's a nice run to the edge, but another knock on. Southern Nazarene takes over. They see some space on the outside. They're going to try to use those big runners, but loose ball picked up by Iowa. It's actually fly hacked. And then now we will have a penalty as the ball carrier didn't quite have the ball yet and was taken out. So Chamberlain's going to give us that penalty. Iowa thinking about going quickly and then just slowing it down a little bit. Now they'll go. There is some space underneath the post. Can she get it down? She does. What a good try and individual effort by Squirrel Langlois. Number 7.
She just slides right in there. I mean, there were about 5 or 6 Southern Nazarene players. She looks up. She's got space to the right. There's nobody there at home, but it's this heads-up play. It's the head-down dive, the rock and roll slide. 4 people are trying to pile down, but it doesn't mean much for them. Iowa, again, just continuing to pummel down into the try zone.
And this time the conversion is good. Iowa lengthening that lead out to 12-0.
I mean, this rock and roll slide is one for the ages. She just needed an air guitar. And it's the determination. Again, these are knockout rounds, people. You have to win these games if you want a chance at the championship. Teams are going to be competing so ruthlessly today.
Southern Nazarene taking over on this restart. Going a bit backwards, but we have seen an impact from this player. She's got through the defense. Let's see if she's got the legs. Looking for a little bit of support. What a run there by Yuha Tafe. But it's stolen by Iowa, taken at the doorstep. Gonna go around to the outside. Great job keeping this in bounds. Good counter ruck coming from Southern Nazarene, and then Iowa deemed to have been in from the side and offsides. So Southern Nazarene getting a big run by Talisi Yuhatafe, and let's see if they can take advantage of this penalty now. And they're content to just take this a little bit slower, but they are going to give it off to the big runners here. Good defense by Iowa. There is a little bit of space on the outside if they can get it there, but that pass is just going to go forward for Southern Nazarene, and Iowa taking over. And we are at that 7-minute mark, but of course the referee, Pete Chamberlain, has that official time, so he's got a little bit more time, so we will scrum. And this will go to Iowa, who does lead by 12 points, so they could add a little bit more before we go to halftime potentially.
Right here, we just again see Iowa putting on some defensive pressure. They are linking up so well, and it's these one-off runners in the forward pass. Southern Nazarene is just having to continuously work backwards, and they're not getting any go forward.
And on the restart, big push from Southern Nazarene, using that power. And now some good footwork and into the hands of that center. And now working it to the outside. They've got some green grass in front of them. And of course, it's into Yohatafa's hands, and she gets them all the way to the 7-meter line. Ooh, Iowa defense, though, collapsing on those players. Southern Nazarene keeps it. Quick ball, asking for it. Great hands, that one. That's Bailey Gillahan, who will get the first points for Southern Nazarene and close that score line. Wonderful work.
The curse of the commentator. I was just talking about how Southern Nazarene hadn't really generated any good go forward. And here we see This player just pick it up. It's the heads up play, moving it to the space. We see this little bobble, but she keeps her eyes on the ball. That's what makes it so that you can retain the possession. It's the determination. Iowa's coming across. They want to tackle, but she's just too fast. Southern Nazarene now back in this game.
Southern Nazarene crawling back into this one, 12-7. We're going to take a moment, and we will be back as we see this gorgeous try one more time.
We keep playing our game.
Nazarene. Again, this weather is the story of the day so far. Very cold at the Maryland Soccer Complex where the CRCs are being held this year. New location. You can see the weather sometimes on the camera just absolutely pouring down, but the teams here have made the adjustment. Iowa out with an early lead, but Southern Nazarene scoring at the half, and now we see them carrying this ball again, looking more confident. They've made some adjustments, bringing their support players in a bit closer, and we're starting to see that paying dividends for Southern Nazarene. Really good defense there by Iowa, though. See if they got a little bit of space on the outside. This one's a foot race. She's got the speed. It's a good run. Maya Hartnett got one defender to beat, but she's going to touch this one down. And the kick here is going to be absolutely critical, as you can see what that try meant to her.
The hype is real for Southern Nazarene. We talked about them having to consolidate their game plan, and we see the adjustment happening here. They work it wide between Ua Tuffy, who has been everywhere, all over the pitch, but it's this number 7. It's her finish. Hartnett, she adds this heart to this team. Southern Nazarene now dependent on this kick. Kick looks good.
Fantastic. Southern Nazarene taking the lead, putting a statement on this last few minutes of the first half and then the second half as we see this try again. Beautiful work by Maya Hartnett. And then I just love her passion, as you mentioned, Darian, of when she scores. She knows what that meant. And the restart from Southern Nazarene. 7's is unique, where you make it, you take it. Or it's the opposite. I think my 15s and my 7's, I'm mixing those up. So it's Southern Nazarene scoring, but then kicking off to Army. We're supposed to be the knowledgeable ones, huh, Darian? But Army taking over on this attack there inside their own 50, now crossing that 50-meter line. This is your original try scorer, your second try scorer. That was Squirrel Langlois on the carry. And then now just that wet ball again. It's a slippery banana out there, dropped, and we'll have a scrum to Southern Nazarene. This is where they scored their first try, so this is a good opportunity for the ladies in white.
Southern Nazarene looking really promising. Iowa just looking a little bit fatigued here early on in the second half. They're really going to have to try and find some energy here as Southern Nazarene just shows so much promise. But Iowa, usually you just need one player to really take the team by the reins, pun intended here with the weather, and really try and get this team back into the game. Still a very winnable game, either team, between the number 4 and the number 5 seed. So it's an exciting game here for us.
It's a close one. 2 points separating these teams. 9.5 minutes gone. We did see a substitution coming in for Southern Nazarene, so some fresh legs could be the difference as they continue with this lead. It's out to the first try scorer. She has been absolutely critical for this side, Yoha Tafe. And then just a little bit of trouble at that ruck there, but able to contain it. And then it's again into Yotatafe's hands. But a penalty coming on this one, and he is reaching. A dangerous tackle. So this, not what Iowa needed. Going to have a player in the sin bin for 2 minutes. Southern Nazarene restarting. We'll have that player advantage now. With that yellow card for the dangerous tackle they scored in the last moment of the first half, and then right at the kickoff on this second half, and looking like they're going to take advantage of this one-player advantage. Tackled from behind. She's able to get the offload, though. And just that messy ball. It's so rainy, but picked up by Southern Nazarene. And finally seeing that score from Talisi Yohatafe. She's been doing so much work for the Southern Nazarene side. It's good to see her get 5 points.
Nobody more deserving here for Southern Nazarene. She has been working so hard to play scrum half at the back for her team, as well as set them up for these massive runs in order to extend their lead. But finally, she gets one of her own. Southern Nazarene now, Iowa just not able to get the go forward, not able to stop those offloads. They're going to need to answer quickly as we enter into the last 3 minutes of this match.
And this conversion is short. And Southern Nazarene extending their lead 19-12. But just have come back barnstorming in this second half, made the adjustments, consolidated their play, and now have got Iowa on their back foot. But as you said, Darian, all you need is that one player. They do have a one-player advantage, so they need two players from Iowa potentially to step up here and make the difference. And Southern Nazarene just needing a little bit of assistance, medical assistance, one of their players. So we will go time off here. Darian, what can Iowa do to get back into this?
Iowa just has to play some really smart defense. This is the last 2.5 minutes of the match, so there's still time to make a try and even extend the lead. These are knockout rounds, so a team, they're going to have to play till there's a winner, but Iowa are just going to have to play some really smart, connected defense, maintain possession. As I say that, curse of the commentator, Iowa heartbreak here as Southern Nazarene get the ball again. We just see people taking their eyes off of the ball for one split second. The kick is low. It's achievable. We see a little bounce down here at the bottom of our screen, but just taking your eyes off the ball for even a split second. We see the hands drop. We see the body height drop. The ball is an odd shape thing. It's not going to fit in there and just pops right back out. Southern Nazarene with possession.
That bounce of the ball could be so cruel sometimes as Southern Nazarene takes over on that scrum. Some nice play using the weak side. And then just that loose ball again. It's this weather. We're going to be talking about it all day. Expecting over an inch of rain today. And then tomorrow the forecast is not looking that much better, maybe even a little bit colder. So these teams are going to have to adjust all weekend. And we're excited that you're joining us for our women's premier bracket. We've got several more games coming your way.
What's really smart about Southern Nazarene, and even though this knock-on didn't exactly go to hand, but they're really smart in their offloads, and that's what's generating this good go forward for them against Iowa. But Iowa now back to their full team. They've got time to try and get one more try.
And a little bit of pressure coming in that scrum, but Iowa able to survive. And then now some good footwork and leg drive from the ladies in black. And just scrappy here, but getting some space on the outside now. Couple of defenders. Wow, what a beautiful goose step that was. The confidence of Squirrel Langlois. She's already scored once, and then she's going to get her side in again. The fend. The confidence there, knowing that she could get past that defender. 2 tries. This conversion is absolutely critical.
Is just an individual effort. We talked earlier about one player just really taking the reins and putting on the gas. We see the footwork here. It's so subtle you can barely even notice it. We see the corner flag coming. It's the step away with the fence. She creates such good space for herself. She's got the wheels to burn. That's almost a 70-meter try. What an effort by Iowa. Back in this game with the conversion to come. Unfortunately, no good, but still more time to play.
And Southern Nazarene taking this one. What a turnaround from them. They were losing at the half and then piling on the tries. Congratulations to the 5th-ranked team, upsetting 4th-ranked Iowa. Stay with us. We will have Penn State versus Montana State coming up next.